I have reviewed hundreds of credit profiles, not hypothetical profiles. I'm talking real people with real files, with real problems. And people who come to me stuck, getting denied for things they should have qualified for. Watching their scores sit in the same range for months and sometimes years, no matter what they tried. And after going through that many profiles, something became very clear to me. The people who are stuck are not stuck for random reasons. They're stuck for the same reasons over and over and over again. The same patterns, the same mistakes, the same blind spots showing up on their profile after profile after profile. It does not matter if they are a warehouse worker in Miami making $4,000 a month or a small business owner in Atlanta making $7,000 a month. The pattern is almost identical every single time. And in this video, I'm going to show you exactly what that pattern is, every element of it, so that by the end of it, you can look at your own profile and know with clarity and exactly which the pattern are and why you're stuck and exactly what needs to happen to get you out of it. Okay, so let's get into it. The first thing that I see on almost every stuck profile without exception is utilization. You have to make sure it is under 30%. And what makes this so consistent across the stuck profiles is not just that the utilization is high. It is the person has no idea why their utilization being high is such a problem. Do you understand? They think that they're managing it fine and they're using the card as they're supposed to. They pay the minimum. Sometimes they pay even more than the minimum. They never miss a payment. And in their mind, they're doing what they're supposed to do. What they don't know is that utilization is how much of your available credit are you using, okay? And accounts over 30% will affect your credit score. And it is the second biggest factor after the payment history. And cards that are sitting about 30% are already hurting you without you even knowing. And so any card that is sitting above 50% are doing you a serious damage. So I need you to pay it down ASAP. Any card that is above 80% are one of the absolute most significant contributors why your score is stuck. Do you understand? And the part that makes this even more frustrating is when people find it out, is that they have been making the mistake not because they are irresponsible, but because nobody told them about the statement closing date. This is super important. Statement closing date, guys. They have been paying their car on time every single month, sometimes paying it off even completely, and their utilization is still reporting as high. Why? Because they are paying after the statement closes, not before it. Do you understand? And the bureau report your balance on your statement closing date, not on your due date. Huge difference. Now when you make your payment, the closing date is whatever sitting on your card when that statement closes is what the lenders will see. Do you understand? So if you carry a, let's say $900 on a $1,000 credit card all month and paid it off 3 weeks later when the bill is due, guess what? The bureau is already being reported at $900. Now you showed 90% utilization. You paid, yes, you paid no interest. You were technically responsible, but guess what? Your score still took the fucking hit. Do you understand? So this is the utilization trap, and a lot of people don't even know this. And it is sitting on almost every stock profile that I've ever reviewed, every single time. The second element of the pattern is one of the most universal trap as the utilization trap is that at least having one collection sitting on your report. Listen, that person right there, either maybe he forgot about it or he didn't even know it ever existed. And I genuinely cannot count how many times I've opened clients' full report and I found a collection that they had no idea was there. Isn't that crazy? I think that's fucking crazy. And it can be a medical bill from 3 years ago that was supposed to be handled by insurance, but it was not. It can be a phone contract from a carrier that they switched away for whatever reason, that they had a final balance and they never paid. A utility account, a utility bill from an old apartment, a subscription service that went to a debt collector after they canceled. Sometimes it can be even an account that is not even theirs. Isn't that crazy? With a wrong name, similar social security number, addresses that was never theirs, a lot of insane stuff. And it does not matter how the collection got there. What matter is it is sitting on your report right now. And every single lender who pulls that file sees it immediately. And the collection is not just a negative mark on your credit score. It is a signal, okay? And it tells every lender reading your file, this person had a debt and it went from bad enough that the collection agency got involved. Do you understand? So whatever reason, the financial system flagged this person as someone who does not handle their obligation. And that is a huge red flag. So that signals overwrites a lot of positive that you can potentially have. Do you understand? On your credit profile. So a clean payment history on an active account means less if there is a lot of collection, if there's a couple collections sitting there. Lower your utilization helps, but it does not eliminate the damage of an active collection. So, and here's the part where makes this so damaging for stuck profiles specifically, okay? Most people I see with a collection have getting denied for months or even longer without even connecting the denials to the collection. They focus on the score, they try to raise the number, they don't realize the collection is the primary reason every application keeps them denied again and again and again. So the first thing, whenever you apply to a lender, that's the first thing they see, that you have an active collection, and it is costing people more than we can realize. The third element is almost always is a direct result of the first two. It is a stack of hard inquiries on the report from repeated applications. Guys, here's how the pattern unfolds for almost every stuck person I've worked with, right? People that need a credit repair. They know their credit needs work. They apply for a card hoping they get approved and start building, right? And then they get denied, and then they try another card, denied again. Then they apply for a personal loan thinking maybe it will work, another denied. Now they try a store card, maybe denied. They apply for a credit building product, denied, that they saw on an ad or whatever, again and again and again. It's just the pattern keep repeating. And every single one of those applications left a hard inquiry on their report. So potentially they can have 6, 8 inquiries, sometimes even 10 or more across 12 to 18 months. And to many lenders, looking at that file, those inquiries are telling a very specific story. This person, this is what they see, right? This person has been applying for a credit card in multiple places repeatedly, and multiple lenders have looked at this profile and say no. So this will just increase the chances of other lenders saying no again, which will make the entire situation even worse. It tells them that this is someone who is chasing credit, someone who is credit hungry, right? Someone who is at risk. That is their perception. That is how they look at you. Now you just created entirely, and that entirely was created by you stacking a lot of inquiries, and makes every subsequent application even harder and harder than the one before, because now the lender is not just looking at underlying profile problems, they're also looking at evidence that there's a lot of other lenders that already looked at this person's profile and just pass, say, yeah, nah, I don't want to give him no money, no credit. So the stuck person does not realize that they have created a compounding problem. Every problem, every application they make trying to fix their situation is making their situation harder to fucking fix. Isn't that crazy? The fourth element, which sits underneath all three previous ones, is having a thin profile. Meaning, a thin profile means a credit file lacks depth. It is in a surface level, and there is not enough positive history, not enough accounts variety, and not even enough age accounts to give lenders confidence that, okay, this person can actually handle credit across different product type and over time. Does that make sense? So almost every stock profile that I've reviewed throughout my entire entrepreneurship journey has the same structure, which is having a thin profile. So one credit card, maybe two, both sitting at a high utilization and no installment credit history at all, with no loans, no payment plans, no nothing, an average age 1 or 2 years, sometimes even less. Guess what? This will make you stuck. That's it. That is their entire file. This is what I see almost in 99% of people that needs help with their credit. And here's why this matters beyond just the score impact. A thin profile limits the ceiling. Even if you fix your utilization and you remove all the collection, a thin profile without an installment history and without an aged account can only go to can only go so high. The scoring model needs to see different type of credit managed responsibly over time, and without that depth, there is a ceiling on how high your score can realistically go. Do you understand? So regardless of what else you can fix, a thin profile is not just a problem on its own. It is a backdrop against which every other problem on the report hits harder. Do you understand? So having a collection hits way harder on a thin profile than on a deep one. High utilization hits harder, inquiries hit harder, everything, because there is no substantial positive history to offset any of it. The fifth element is not something you can see on a credit report, but it is the most consistent element across every single stock profile I've ever reviewed. There is no strategy. They just react, pure reaction. And the person is not operating from a plan. They're just reacting to problems that as they become painful. Do you understand? They see a low score and then they start reacting. And they get denied and they react. So they hear a tip on TikTok. They try it. And then they read a thread online, on Twitter, and then they try something else from that, and then they download an app, and then do what the app suggests. There is no real strategy. None of it connected, none of it sequenced, none of it built around an actual understanding of their specific profile and what it specifically needs in what specific order. Random action on a credit profile does not produce results. Okay? It produces the illusion of action while the real problem still sit untouched. So the stuck person has been doing things. They've been trying different things. They just not been doing the right thing in the right order. And when it comes to credit, the sequence matter as much as the individual moves. Do you understand? It's super important. So paying off a collection before disputing it is a huge mistake that I see a lot of people do. Opening a new account before fixing your utilization, huge mistake, because you just increase the chances of getting denied for no reason. Applying for credit before removing any derogatory marks, huge mistake. These are not just ineffective moves, they are moves that actively undermine each other. Do you understand? So money is just being wasted for no reason. You're stacking up a lot of credit inquiries for no reason. And the positive additions just got canceled by the negative ones. All of this happened because there is no strategy. Now that you understand the 5 elements of a stuck person, let me show you exactly what the break-in of it looks like. Because the pattern is consistent and the fix is also consistent. Not identical for every profile, but it is structured around the same sequence of moves executed in the same order. Make sense? So step 1, I need you to fully audit before doing anything else. pull all the complete report from all the three bureaus, Equifax, TransUnion, and Experian. Map every single problem, write it down, every collection, every high utilization, put the percentage on, every card, every inquiry, every account age. You need a complete picture before you touch anything. That is step number one. Step two will be go after every derogatory remark first. Debt validation letters to every collection agency. Disputes filed on every inaccuracy. Pay for delete negotiation is on. And you do not move from this step until you have initiated the removal process on every negative item. Super important. Step three will be fix your utilization. Any utilization you have to bring it down. Find the statement closing date on every single card that you have. Get every balance below 10% of the limit. Run this up with the dispute process because dispute takes 30 to 45 days and you don't want to waste no time. Okay? And step number four will be start building a structure. Super important. Start building a structure on a clean foundation. Authorize user on a long, clean account. Get a credit builder loan for an installment history. And then once you do all of that now, get a strategic card application only after the profile has been cleaned from all the negatives that we just did. Step five. Step five will be protect the inquiry count throughout the entire process. I don't want you to start doing no random application, no impulse application, one strategic application at the right time to the right lender. Space every application at least 60 to 90 days apart. And that sequence right there, executed in the right order, will break every element of the stuck pattern. And I want to be direct about something, okay? Most people who are in this pattern do not break it on their own. Not because they're not smart enough or they're not disciplined enough, but because the pattern is self-reinforcing. That high utilization makes every application less likely to succeed. The failed application add what? A lot of inquiries that makes future application even more harder. The collection that nobody told you about keeps flagging every new lender. The thin profile that you have means that when something gets fixed, the score ceiling stays low. And without a strategy, every single move will just fail. And now that person tries harder, they apply more, they start paying more things randomly, they add more inquiries, they get more denials, and guess what? They cannot even figure out why nothing is working out when they're clearly doing things. Why? Because they are doing things just not in the right order, not the right things in the right order. And this is exactly why I built a process around reviewing the full profile. If you recognize yourself in this pattern, the high utilization, the collection, inquiries from the repeated denials, a thin profile, and no real strategy, you are not alone. This is the most common profile I see by significant margin. And I'm telling you, it is fixable. Every element of it in a structured sequence that produces real movement in weeks and months, not years. Fuck all of that. We don't have time to wait for years, right? If you want the full breakdown of exactly how to fix your credit profile from the ground up, I put together a free masterclass where I walk you through the complete system. How to remove collection the right way, how to fix your utilization strategically, how to structure your profile so lenders actually approve you, right? And how to position yourself for real business funding. Everything that I could not fit into this video, it is all there step by step. Link in the description. Go watch it.